Hey guys, it's Nick, and thanks for tuning in to Long Island Wargaming. And this is game 4 for me on Crossroads GT, and I'm playing an Empire list. And it's a pretty cool army. The models are really well painted. Definitely my favorite figures that I got to play against. And it was an old Bretonia army, and you'll get to see when we take a look at the pictures. It was a Bretonia army, but it was, I guess, just converted to work as an Empire army too. So, all right, let's get into the scenario. All right, so in this game, 3 objectives. This is the one game that me and Chris got to play before we actually went up. And essentially, the person with the most models nearest to each objective wins that objective, and you get 2 extra victory points, and then you get battle points for obtaining objectives, and then an additional battle point if you deny your opponent of controlling any objectives. So it's a pretty simple one, no moving objectives and anything, so I'm pretty okay with this one. And playing Skaven, I've got lots of bodies on the field, so against Empire, if there's going to be Cav, then you know what, I'll be okay. I've got plenty of rats to control those objectives. So I like the scenario. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going in with good feelings, and then deployment happens, and I'm just not feeling happy. I've got these 3 objectives. We got that one building in the middle. Um, Going at his list quickly from left to right, we got, I think those are halberdiers with a detachment of 2 units of skirmishing archers, demigriff behind, a war altar behind that, then a steam tank. There's a cannon in the forest. The mountain is occupied by inner circle knights, and then there's 4 more demigriff, and then there is griffin with a lord on top. So it's just, that side, that right side, is going to flank me so strong. And I mean, I've got the deployment advantage, of course, with Skaven, but I just didn't want to spread my guys out. So I've got the stubborn help at Abomination. Hopefully, he'll be able to stop those those Cav from crushing through. But not really feeling good after seeing deployment. And this is just another angle. The gutter runners are actually going to be using their slinking advanced ability. I figured that'd be great because I can come in and take out the cannons from behind, piss off the war altar. So, but yeah. So he gets turn 1 and he advances, but just take a look at this picture. It's not a great picture, but check out the detail on these Men-at-Arms models. Like, completely checkered shield, completely hand painted. Really awesome. The fluff behind the army, I believe, was, I don't know. It's just they lived near, I guess, water or whatnot. You can see that the guys are halfway in the water, which is pretty cool. And then you can see the demigriff to the side there. They also have water all on their base, and it's a shoreline army, I guess you could say. But I think the bases are all green stuff, which is pretty cool. And here come the cav. So the cavalry will be taking up the right flank, and I'm not really happy about it. He's going to fly right over that Cambrian quicksand, and the demigriff are 4 strong. And here's the entire shot of his movement phase. So there was some shuffling up, really most on the right side, and then he'll probably just hang out and do some damage with the cannons and the steam tank. So, and maybe even some magic for all we know. He's running Lore of Life, so he gets the protection spell off. I believe it's that bubble spell, so it's going to make things a little bit more harder to shoot at. We have the War Altar and the cannon over there, and the steam tank. And between his cannon and the steam tank, he's able to score 4 wounds onto the Helped Abomination. I must have failed my regen save somewhere along the way. And boom, somewhere, don't remember how, probably another shot or something. He was able to take down the Helped Abomination, and I did not have my swarms assembled and or painted, so he was kind enough to let me proxy it. This isn't a big deal to me because during his turn I get to take a quick look again at his list and realize that the demigriffs have the flaming banner, so it was just a matter of time before the hell pit died. But at least he spent turn shooting at that instead of the doom wheel or the furnace. Skaven turn 1. I move up. I'm going to probably do the same thing that he's going to do to me. So essentially, I'm going to do a little base trade here where he flanks me on one side. I'm going to flank him on the other. That's what I'm hoping to do with the Plague Monks. The Plague Monks should be able to take those Halberdier guys out pretty easily. I just have to make sure I line up the most Plague Monks into combat over there and not have the Furnace take up all the space because I've got plenty of attacks. I'll dwindle him down. It might take a turn or two. And Warp Fire Thrower is just chilling. Everything else is just chilling at this point. I want to back up my troops to the right and allow those things to just come in, and I'll probably just have to chaff them up with the rat darts and whatnot. The rat dot farthest to the right, I'm going to just wait until the demigriffs come up, get in the way, and make them have to redirect into either the forest or the quagmire if that happens, which I doubt. He's got decent leadership. And yeah, so the Doom Wheel goes flying up because there's really no other place for him to go. I decide if he goes right, he's going to deal with Cav, Monstrous Cav, and a monster. He's more likely to succeed against the Steam Tank, which is unlikely to begin with. But if he does somehow take the Steam Tank out, then at least I can go on to wreak havoc in the back. But he backed up, or he didn't move the Steam Tank, so I'm not in a very good place. So I'm going to just take a leadership test and not shoot this turn. And my magic was all denied. So in Empire turn 2, my rat dart's up there. It's kind of further ahead than the rest of my units. So he declares a charge with the demigriff, and you can see there's a movement tray in front of them, but those are scrimmaging archers, so there's actually a clear path for him to get through. It's kind of an issue, because if he makes it, then he's just going to overrun into my clan rat unit where my heroes are, and I would just be making the same mistake I make every game and let my BSB and my sorcerer get into combat. The only reason why he's up there is because I want to get spells off turn 1, and most of my spells are 18 inches or less. So he issues a charge on my clan rats, on the giant rats, and I have to flee and just give him a redirect charge to add a couple extra inches. The rat dart gets away, no problem, and the demigriff are unable to score a charge against the clan rats, so I am very thankful. No surprise here, the Steam Tank goes right on into the Doom Wheel. This Doom Wheel is totally screwed. And then this guy comes around to scare me from behind. Take a moment to check him out. Just a big rooster. But otherwise that, pretty awesome paint job. So this is his movement at the end of his movement phase, essentially. His magic is unsuccessful, and shooting, he's in combat with the Doom Wheel. His one cannon is unable to do anything, and in combat, to my surprise, with I don't remember the rules for the Steam Tank, but he had like 4 D3 impact hits or something like that, and he rolled decent on that roll, but then he didn't on the actual to wound. He rolled 1, 2s, and 3s, and I believe he needed 4 up because it's strength 6, toughness 6. So my Doom Wheel sat there, which I mean is wonderful because now next turn I could just get a zap off, and a zap will allow me to kill it. I will recall though he was able to get 1 or 2 wounds onto the Doom Wheel, but I was able to, with my leadership 7 minus 2 or 3 from the combat, with my BSP there, I was still able to roll something really low, like a 4 or 3, and he stayed, so that was very victorious. So from this shot to this shot, you could see my Plague Monks are closing in pretty tight, and yeah, the slaves are just going to turn to face the oncoming garbage. I do have my giant rats and my that cluster of guys, the swarms, just getting ready to get in the way, so yeah. And the other red dart's still fleeing. It's going to flee off the board at this point. Also note the engineer that's in the middle slave unit in between the clan rats and the plague monk is now in range for the doom rocket. I'm not sure if I'm going to shoot the doom rocket onto the halberdiers or maybe onto the demigriff. I mean, I don't get as many hits on the demigriff, but at least I could score some wounds, 3s to wound and then -2 armor. So there's a chance at getting a wound or 2 in there. Not likely, but I do forget to take him out of the unit though. which is a mistake that my opponent will later exploit. During the magic, I'm able to get Plague off, which is great. I can get it onto those Halberdier guys and wipe out a little more than half the unit, which is great. That's what's so much fun about these toughness tests. But the spell does not bounce. And with the few dice I have left, I go for Bless with Filth onto the Doom Wheel, which, I mean, I had a couple extra dice, and he does have 2d6 attacks, but if I could at least hit on a 6, I could get a wound through with my strength 2, and if he rolls a 1, there we go. On his arm save. 1 wound. During shooting, the lightning cannon scores 1 wound onto the griffin. Hoping I could kill him, but I'll take the wound. So far so good with my shooting. The Doom Rocket does go against the Demigriff, but he's got decent armor, and I figured I might as well try it on that just because the Halberdiers were already kind of crushed, and there's nothing that the Plague Monks can't take care of. The Gutter Runners show up on the back, which I forgot to mention, and they shoot down the cannon with poison, which is great. And it actually causes all that panic, so he's got one of the archer units end up failing. You can note everything is fleeing here, and there's maybe I did shoot the Doom Rocket on the Halberdiers. I don't remember because you can see there's a couple more pulled off, so there's only like 12 guys in there. For the rest of my shooting, the Doom Wheel ends up like failing his zap attack. He either got a really low strength or misfired. I don't remember, but here was my chance to like kill it, and I failed. So he'll probably be dead next turn with his grind attacks. So Empire turn 3. We'll work left to right. The Halberdiers just get into a reef directing position, which is expected. There's a hero all the way over to the left running away. That's the BSB. He's all the way over there to the rocks. He's kind of off the screen. You can see his little blue base. He left the Halberdier unit, and I'm going to have to try to go hunt him down with my scrimmagers or something. The Demigriff go into the slaves, which I was surprised. I thought maybe they'd do something else or try on the Clan Rat unit again. But he straight up told me, he's like, you still have your hero in there, so you can't shoot at them. I was like, oh shit. Because otherwise I would just shoot my lightning cannon on them, hope to get the little template on, say, 3 guys. If I get this template on 3 guys, strength 8, d6 multiple wounds, the Demigriffs would be dead. But he decided, hey, this is the safest place they can be. This is where they're going. And I was like, wow, good for you. Tank's still in combat. The War Altar rallies this turn, I believe. The Knights go right on into the Giant Rats. The Demigriff go to hold that objective at this point. 1 archer unit's in the building, which is fine by me. And the Griffin comes in on those swarms from behind. And this shot for your visual pleasure. Check out those Demigriffs. They're awesome. I would have had no patience painting all those little checkers. And this is a disaster. I mean, his guys just come in and crush, so no surprise there. But it keeps him busy for a turn, so I'm happy with that. And they reform, so if for some reason the Doom Wheel survives, he could at least come and swipe through. So, and the tank is unable to grind the Doom Wheel down. And now that I have a better picture here, you can see he only has 1 wound on him at this point, which is great. And the Chocobos go ahead and eat some slaves. But I'm leadership 10 rerollable, so I don't care. Oh my gosh, it's Skaven turn 3, so I get another chance to maybe zap and kill the steam tank, which is so exciting. The Plague Monks go ahead and go into that little unit, whatever. The Gutter Runners are going to go try to hunt down that BSB, but there's a giant thing of impassable, so we're just going to play Slap and Tickle for a couple turns. Everything else just kind of chills. I get my I swift reform my slaves so that they face towards the enemy's table edge, and then they just move up. So essentially, the idea behind this is he cannot charge the Clan Rat units with either units of the Knights or the Griffin because they can't fit or have a way through. And they're going to have to get through those 50 slaves first if they want to flank charge them and leave the Doom Wheel alone. Which is fine, because you know what? They're going to be at leadership whatever with a reroll, so I'm not worried about that. That'll save me some turns, and I can shoot at them while they're stuck in combat with those slaves, so I'm not worried. And I get blessed with filth onto these little guys, because I don't think I could cast anything else effective. But, whatever. 10 poison attacks. Maybe I could take a demigriff down. Not. And the moment we have all been waiting for. Booyah! Zap attack takes down the tank. I'm up to 4 wounds, but I don't give a shit. This is a victory. That is the MVP. Doom Wheel lasted for like a couple rounds of combat. Awesome. And wait, there's more? The lightning cannon goes ahead and does 2 more wounds onto the griffin, and the rider's now dead. So, he fails his monster reaction test, or passes it, or however it works, and he sits there for the rest of the game, so he's just a big giant target for me to shoot at. Hooray! And it's a grind here. More guys drop, not a big deal. These guys do their job and run into the impassable terrain. Oh well, but at least that unit's dead and accounted for, and you can see next turn, this guy starts moving his BSB behind the rocks. Whoa, 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 we need to rewind that for a second. The slaves took out a demigriff? Well, anyway, on to Empire turn 4. This is where I start getting sloppy. You can see I have my Warpfire thrower ready to shoot at the knights or whatever oncoming, but I forgot there's 2 little archers there that just go ahead and snatch up this thing, so, oops. These guys go in on the front of the Doom Wheel. It's just turned around so it fits, because he reformed last turn after beating the steam tank to face the oncoming cav. And check out those guys. Look pretty cool. And this is just a shot of the rest of his movement. The other demigriff are just hiding, which is fine by me. And there's just stuff in the building, and the war thing, the war shrine, is just turning to face the gutter runners. Maybe he can kill them. So there's no way the Doom Wheel is going to survive this one with those strength 6 charges and everything. But a knight died earlier from difficult terrain going into the forest, which is nice. And then I go ahead and grind one, and now he's down to whatever that is, 7. But to my surprise, he scores no wounds, which is crazy. This Doom Wheel is a champ. He comes in, he's got a charge, a banner, so I got 1 kill on him, so I only lost combat 1, so I'm leadership 6 rerollable, so I stick. So on my turn 4, I decided to capitalize on the fact that the Doom Wheel is rocking it, so I send the slaves in. I mean, the guys aren't going to get lances or anything. They're going to have, I don't know, 4 attacks in total coming at me on the side. Whatever, I'm coming in with a charge, flank charge, and 3 ranks, so I'm happy. The furnace just turns to face the demigriff, and hopefully those slaves hold out. I cast Wither onto the demigriff, which is nice, so maybe I could score some wounds on them. I forgot if I can even cast this one into combat anyway. I don't know. I did make a conscious effort to move my BSB to the more middle part of the unit this way. If things go wrong, he's not in combat. Oh no, the Doom Wheel dies. I think he either misfires or somehow takes 2 wounds in combat, which is unlikely. So he probably misfired, which is sad. I do break the unit nonetheless, hooray, and I think I run them down, which is awesome. Nope, they're on the other side. I don't catch them, darn it, but the archers inside the unit do turn and run, inside the building I should say. They turn and run. So Empire turn 5, the demigriff and the cav. The cav actually, the inner circle knights end up rallying, I believe, but they're all hiding behind the building, so the lightning cannon can't see them, which sucks. And then which doesn't mean they can't shoot at them now that I think about it, because the lightning cannon's weird. I could put a point on the ground before the building. The building doesn't stop the lightning cannon like it would stop a cannon, I think. It just means you drop a template and then you put a little round template at the end, like a lollipop looking thing. So maybe I could have shot at them now that I think about it, but it doesn't matter. The demigriff are still grinding down the slaves. I've got
like no guys left, so I'm sitting on leadership 8 now with a reroll, which isn't that bad, but I'm gonna lose my. In my turn 5, I try to knock out the Griffin with the lightning cannon, but it blows up. You can also say the demigriffs over there. They ended up killing the slaves last turn, but the plague furnace goes and charges them, and he issues a flee, so I can't catch them. I'm not entirely sure how the last turn 6 plays out, but here it is. This is the last shot. He actually has a lot of stuff on the battlefield still in terms of victory points. I mean, 2 full units of demigriff. Those are, let's look. He gave me his list. Together, that's over 500 points, which is great. The inner circle knights are sitting there, and that is looks like 300 points or so at the demigriff. I don't know if you have to kill the lord or not to get full points, but either way, the general on top of the empire, on top of the griffin is 300 points or so. So I'm able to claim a lot of victory points, which is great. I do have 2 objectives. You can see one objective by the plague monks, one objective by the building there. So I claim those 2. He claims the one further to the right, which is fine. So I end up getting extra. I get 2 battle points for this, and then an extra 400 victory points. I believe I end up walking away with 15 points from this game, which is great. I thought I was going to lose this game right off the bat, so I'm happy with this. But towards the middle and the end of the game, I got a little greedy. I was hoping for a little bit more because, I mean, my Doom Wheel was a champ. My Doom Wheel was just holding out left and right, and then I was just able to take out all of that stuff left of the building, which is crazy. I didn't suspect anything less with the Plague Monks. They really didn't do anything this game. Uh, I don't know if I had placed them on the right of the battlefield, maybe it would have been a little bit of a different game where they would have been dealing with the Cav and the Demigriff and the Griffin, and they're pretty good at taking out stuff with high armor saves due to the toughness tests, no armor save, and the Wrecker attack, strength 5, and the breath weapon toughness test that the thing has. So it would have done pretty decent over there. So maybe they would have belonged over there, but I couldn't have known what was going to happen with the Demigriff on